The party set out. Smith-Jones informed them that facelings are blind creatures, so they use their sense of sound to locate things. If they kept quiet while they moved through the streets, or successfully made some stealth checks, lol, they wouldn't run into any problems. Any time the party inquired about where exactly they were headed, Smith-Jones would tell them they were going to see an old friend. As the party got to know Smith-Jones and Fuzzly more, they learned that Smith-Jones was actually a prisoner of the apparatus as well, and the last year he remembered from the real world was 1991. As you can imagine, this raised some eyebrows from the party, and upon asking if he had aged since he entered, he told them he hadn't aged at all. This solidified the party's theory that time simply didn't exist in the apparatus, and if it did, it was most likely paused in one way or another. As all of this dawned on them, they turned a corner onto a block that allowed them to see something off in the distance. Beyond the neighborhood there seemed to be a massive structure cascaded in haze from their perspective. As they got closer, it seemed to be a castle. Or, rather, a dollhouse, the size of a castle. Smith-Jones informed the party that he believed the facelings came from the dollhouse, but he wasn't sure why. From where they were walking, they could see little dots hanging from all sides of the massive building, and on a closer look, revealed themselves to be bodies. Smith-Jones figured it had something to do with faceling culture. As they eventually made their way to the end of the neighborhood on a dead-end street, they approached what seemed to be a rundown gas station with two rusted gas pumps outside. Fuzzly approached the boarded-up door, and gave a specific, rhythmic knock. After a slot opened and closed rapidly, multiple locks could be heard clicking on the other side. After a beat, the door slowly creaked open, and in a comical fashion, the camera remained on an empty doorway profile, until suddenly panning down to reveal a 4'5" older-looking woman with streaks of gray and black curly hair above pointed black eyeliner and a serious face. As she waved them inside, she introduced herself as Wanda. For some reason, Popa, Hayden, and Jace thought Wanda was damn fine, like bootylicious attractive, Poyo note, for absolutely no reason, and they all instantly fell in love. Wanda and Smith-Jones exchanged a few short words, and Wanda led them all to a fenced cage in the back of the shabby room that stretched from floor to ceiling. As she clicked a button on the wall, an elevator rose from the ground up to their level, and they piled in. As they rode it down, they descended into what looked like a smoky, underground bar. With red leather covering the bar seats and booths with wooden countertops, Wanda welcomed the party to the Rusted Nail, and they took in their surroundings. Not many people were here, but the people that were seemed like your average, run-of-the-mill humans, no elves or dwarves. However, there was a curious person behind the bar, with red skin and flaming hair and goatee. As Wanda walked them over, he told them his name was Jeffrey. The party spent their evening getting wasted and talking to Smith-Jones and Wanda, with Jeffrey coming around regularly to fill their cups. Every time he came around, Jace and Jeffrey would begin to exchange glances, and they hooked up in the hallway that night. Wanda, as owner of the establishment, allowed all of them to crash in the back bedrooms for the time being, and they all hatched a plan to investigate the dollhouse in order to learn more about the facelings and or a way out of this place. The next day, they would depart.